Welcome back to Falling Down Garage. Nice to see paint spatter, primer spatter over the garden hose. This stuff is definitively dry. You can see the remnant holes from where I had the screws going in for the tarp to keep it from blowing. But I'm going to get this coated. I'm going to get that coated. Sorry, there's not a lot of color distinction from that angle. Right here, get that taken out of the job. Well, sort of. Get it first coated. And then I'm gonna, nice drips. Maybe I'll try to sand those off. Nah, no I won't. Got plenty else to do. I had a weird thought the other day. I don't think these are coplaners, the problem. I was thinking of just laminating it with one piece of wood going across that's thin in profile. The restoration, I still hate it, but in the long run, I'd have to hit that with a wheel, pull that out, do little things like that, but ultimately it would allow me to button up these openings a lot quicker. But the problem is you'd always have a gap on the side, so that'll probably prevent me from cutting the corner. All right, well, this shouldn't take me too long. All right, this cut bucket I haven't opened in a while. You can see a little bit of that grenishness, and that's called tint float. And this stuff is still technically usable, but it has to be diluted. Here's a whiz screen. I was going to use this in lieu of it, but I found out where my missing one went. I'm going to probably splash a little bit of water on that, box a little bit of this stuff into it, make it good enough for you know, a first coat, and then get moving. All right, so off camera I splashed some water into this soup and kind of got it viscous again, so I'm okay with that. So then I pop open this second can. You can see the tint float in it. So the next thing I have to do is address that. Before I pour any off, I want to get this sort of stirred up because the streaks will show up in the paint, and that's obviously not desirable. And this is the Duration Satin exterior from Sherwin, excuse me. It's really good paint, and it's a low temp product, although it's actually very balmy today. It'll get cool tonight, but right now it's awesome out. All right, so I'm gonna pour a little bit off into the cut bucket. That's about enough. And do that. Leave that here. I'm gonna pull out my dipstick, or stir stick, excuse me. Pop that in there. Always have a rag. Soap and water cleanup with the latex. I'm actually reusing a whiz cover from the last time I painted the siding. If you clean them properly, you can reuse them. With the finish coat, I back brush, so it's ultimately not leaving any surface profile. And this brush is from Harbor Freight, and it's a reverse engineered version of, I think, a Purdy or a Worcester Zipra 2-inch angle sash. I don't like the handle. I kind of prefer straight handles, but it lays out paint very, very well. So I'll be using that. They're very affordable. I'm gonna get you up on my job box and put it on time lapse. So I'm really looking forward to getting this out of the job. After this, we're gonna get back to doing stuff that makes me cuss a lot. So I thought I had this on time lapse, and I never did. All right, so I worked my way down. I might slap in snippets, just quick cuts. So got down to there. If you look at this plane, at this angle up, everything's gapped. A lot of the siding sometimes will basket weave a little bit where it hits a fastener and then it kind of bows out. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of fastening. I've chosen to go with a modern option, which is I'm going to teach myself how to use a trim head nailer, and I'm going to kind of dig and just get the thing to suck down evenly. I don't intend to cover caulk, excuse me, the bottoms, because I want it to breathe, because there's no sheathing or vapor barrier under there. There is a vapor barrier behind that. There is no sheathing behind that, though. I did kind of adhere to the vapor barrier. Was a concession I made, and by the way, that room is a lot less drafty than it used to be. But what I am gonna do is so I'm gonna take this out of the job all the way down, except for that bottom board, which has to be sanded, and I'll get to that soon. I'll get to that when I'm doing that. I'm gonna take that all the way up to the soffit, and then kind of start to work my way over. But all these gaps through here, I'm gonna suck them down, fill the big holes, decide what to do with the long-running cracks. There's one board, you can see like a real bad bow, but 2 boards beneath that window. Up above, there's a big gap, and if you look, it's about 5-6 boards above the window. It actually sags, so I have to go and cut the fasteners. It probably twisted from the sun, not the sun, but just moisture. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to push it up, and I'm going to pin it, and that should take a lot of that gap out. The gaps along that freeze board, or whatever the heck that thing's called, fascia board, those I'm gonna leave, because I'm considering that a quasi-attic vent. There's a couple pieces over there that split. I might just patch that with fiberglass, believe it or not, and then sand it. The knot holes, maybe short strand, maybe epoxy, something that'll fill it up. I'm gonna have more problems with knots falling out over on that side, and just keep it moving. But that's all for the second pass. It is completely alligatored on that on the soffit over the gable, but it's plywood, so do I rip it out and replace it with the correct beadboard? I don't know. I don't know. In fact, I may ask the Historical Society if I feel like doing something stupid, and see what they advise. I might regret that. I might not do it. I'm not a big fan of letting people tell me what to do on my own property, as long as I'm adhering to what the basic expectation is. But it'd be interesting. I might go to a historic town or two nearby and find the choicest, most unmolested houses and see what they look like before I make up my mind. I'm not sure. So anyways, I'm gonna get that. There's a couple drips from the priming I did recently. I'm gonna sand those and touch them up. Yeah, they're hard to see from here, but I can see them when I'm up close with my naked eye. So all right, we'll be back. So I took this out of the job, jumped over to here. The shadows are really messing with me. If you look underneath, you can see gaps, and I have to go through all this. Like, this board's gonna come out because it's split, and you see how it's moving. If I push on this hard enough, it'll just implode into the wall pocket. So that thing's just it's being held there till I scab in. I'm probably going to reuse a piece from over here and pop it in there. There's gonna be a lot of that. I can live with it. I want to save as much as possible. And now when I was talking about drips, it knocks it right off because it hasn't been on there that long. What's upsetting is this. This really is, you know, getting beat up with the drips. So I'm gonna have to probably. They have concrete stains from Sherwin. They're kind of like real runny. I've never really used them, but I used to work for them, so I used to mix it up. And I'm probably, you know, gonna have to pull the trigger on that. I don't know what color I'll go with. I have a feeling Mom of Mom Cooks and Gardens will ask me to change the color to a brown, because I think I remember her mentioning something about that. What a nice day today. It really was. Hey, the ghost is out. Neighbors have a ghost across the street, I guess because the little kids went trick-or-treating the other day. That was it. They used to keep it on till Halloween, and then the next day it would be off. But maybe they're saving on electric this year. Bummer. I always kind of get a kick out of it. Pretty place. All right, so it looks woefully incomplete because it's woefully incomplete, but I protected the things that are bare or that got primed, and now I just have to sort of, you know, get things in sync so that there's like a cohesive progress line. So obviously I'll work up to the downspout, I'll work on the other side of the downspout, and then kind of disconnect the downspout, hurry up and get it taken out of the job. I think I'll shoot to like the right side of the window, and then you know, I'll be able to button that back up, and then we can move forward in sort of a less ADD-esque way. The front is kind of the same problem. This all, if you think I'm a crazy person, this is all because I power washed the house, took a tremendous amount of paint off, but then didn't immediately get back to it because of my work. So there's a reason for it. Not a good reason perhaps, but a reason. So alrighty, well, I very much appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks. There'll be plenty more.